Space looks beautiful, at least in NASA wallpapers. In reality, it's the biggest, coldest meat grinder you can imagine, and it doesn't even know we exist. No air, no sound, just vacuum, and countless mechanisms of destruction, all running on autopilot. None of them care whether we live or not. And the fun part? Any of them could hit us at any second. By the way, if you want to hear more about all the different ways the universe might kill us, and why we're still alive purely by accident, make sure to hit subscribe. Take our lovely sun, for example. In pictures, it looks so friendly. Yellow, round, giving us vitamin D, topping off our tans, basically the dream neighbor. But that's just the facade. In reality, the sun is a raging nuclear reactor, detonating unimaginable amounts of hydrogen every second. And sometimes, this star throws a tantrum. It spits out giant clouds of plasma straight into space. History has already shown us what happens when the sun loses its cool. Back in 1859, there was a massive solar storm, later called the Carrington Event. Humanity at the time had no internet, no GPS, no planes, no satellites, just the telegraph. And guess what? Telegraph wires literally caught fire, operators got shocked by stray currents, and auroras lit up the sky as far south as Cuba. People thought it was beautiful. Green lights in the sky, sparking wires. Wow, nature is magical. But today, that same storm would look a little different. We live in a world where everything depends on electricity and satellites, banking systems, GPS air travel, the entire internet. A single mega solar flare, and boom, digital apocalypse. Satellites fried, planes lost in the sky, power grids burned out, the internet, gone, cell service, gone. Even ATMs would just sit there like useless boxes. And then the little things hit. You open your fridge expecting cold milk, but after a few days without power, that fridge is basically a bioweapon. No electricity for a week, no water, no heating, no communication. Billions of people suddenly rediscover fire, candles, and, let's be honest, axes. Because when cities run out of food and heat, things get less romantic apocalypse and more real apocalypse. And the best part? This could happen tomorrow, today. All it takes is one bad mood swing from our friendly sun. We're not the landlords of Earth. We're just tenants, and the lease gets renewed daily only because the star hasn't kicked us out yet. But the sun isn't our only problem. We live on a shooting range. Space is constantly throwing rocks at us. Every day, hundreds of tons of cosmic dust and tiny pebbles burn up in our atmosphere. We call it a meteor shower. Cute, romantic. But sometimes it's not dust. Sometimes it's a boulder. And that's not cute at all. Ask the dinosaurs. Oh wait, you can't. 66 million years ago, a 10-kilometer asteroid hit what is now the Yucatan Peninsula. The planet choked on dust, global temperatures dropped, plants died, animals starved, and within a geological blink, game over. End credits for giant lizards. Astronomers today proudly say, "Don't worry, we're keeping an eye on the big ones." And it's true, the planet killers, we're watching. But the smaller ones? The ones just a couple hundred meters across. They can slip through unnoticed. And if one of those hits, we're talking an explosion equivalent to tens of thousands of nuclear bombs. Imagine waking up, turning on the news, and hearing, "Good morning. You've got 3 days until impact. Have a nice day." How many people do you think are showing up for work after that announcement? And even if asteroids leave us alone, there's something scarier. Gamma ray bursts. That's when a massive star dies dramatically, collapsing into a black hole and unleashing a beam of radiation across billions of miles. The energy output? So insane, our sun looks like a cheap IKEA lamp in comparison. If one of those beams happens to point at Earth, our ozone layer gets nuked, our atmosphere stops protecting us, and everything living burns out instantly, like ants under a magnifying glass. And here's the best part: zero warning. 1 second you're watching Netflix, the next, white screen. No news, no forecast, just the end. But even if the cosmos gives us a break, we're still our own worst enemy. In just 70 years of space exploration, we've managed to turn Earth's orbit into a junkyard. Bolts, dead satellites, rocket fragments. Tens of thousands of objects zipping around at bullet speeds. One loose screw could destroy a working satellite. And the real nightmare? The domino effect. The Kessler syndrome. One crash leads to more debris, which crashes into more satellites. And before you know it, Earth's orbit is a giant death cloud. And what does that mean? It means we'd lock ourselves out of space for decades, maybe centuries. No space stations, no launches, no satellites. Forget GPS, forget weather forecasts. Forget the internet. Everything says no signal. Humanity stuck on Earth, surrounded by its own garbage. That's not even an apocalypse. That's just pathetic. Getting wiped out by an asteroid would at least be epic. But burying civilization under a pile of our own space junk? That's peak humanity. So here we are, a tiny green dot, balancing on the edge of a cosmic abyss, dodging bullets every single day. And even if we dodge them all, there's something darker, something quieter, the silence of space. Silence is scarier than explosions. Silence hints at two possibilities. Either we're truly alone, or everyone else is already gone. Think about it. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. That's not just a big number. That's enough time for stars to be born, live, explode, and seed entire galaxies with the heavy elements that make planets, oceans, DNA. The Earth itself is a latecomer. Our Sun is only 4.6 billion years old, younger than 2/3 of all stars. Statistically, there should be worlds far older than ours, with head starts measured not in centuries, but in millions, even billions of years. Imagine a civilization that got fire while Earth was still molten rock. Where are they now? We've scanned thousands of stars, listened for decades, and built instruments sensitive enough to hear a whisper across light years. Nothing. No Dyson spheres blotting out stars. No interstellar beacons. No galactic highways of alien spacecraft. Just silence. That silence points to a terrifying possibility. Maybe the Great Filter exists, some universal barrier that almost no life gets past. Maybe it's at the beginning, and complex life is so improbable that we're a freak accident. Or maybe it's ahead of us, waiting, inevitable. Nuclear fire, runaway AI, climate collapse, cosmic gamma-ray bursts that sterilize whole quadrants of space. Civilizations may flare up like sparks in dry grass, and just as quickly burn out. And then there's the darker thought, the dark forest. Imagine space not as empty, but crowded. Civilizations everywhere, advanced, cautious, ancient. They know the rule. Survival depends on silence. Because every signal is a risk. Every hello could be your last word. In that forest, predators don't announce themselves. They wait and strike the moment they see movement. And here we are, a species barely out of its cradle, firing radio waves in every direction, beaming out TV shows, military radar, and now deliberate messages aimed at stars. We're not just talking, we're shouting. Maybe someone already heard us. Maybe the verdict is being written right now, in a mind or a machine unimaginably far away. Maybe that silence isn't absence, but waiting. And if no one ever answers, that's worse. Because then the silence itself is the answer. A cosmic graveyard stretching across billions of light years. Countless candles lit, countless candles snuffed out, each one vanishing without witnesses, without memory. No legacy, no inheritors, just an endless night. The most frightening apocalypse isn't fire or impact. It's solitude. To live, to hope, to reach upward for centuries, only for the stars themselves to whisper back, "You were always alone. You will always be alone." So for now, don't let your candle go out. Subscribe, drop a comment, and I'll see you in the next darkness.